Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana will reveal the state of the country's finances today when he tables the medium-term budget.
Yeah, in fact, Godongwana's statement will have to balance the demands of the public sector wage increases, the extension of social grants, and of course, support for Eskom. The fate of e-tolls is also expected to be decided today. Let's distill all of this for you now, bring in our business editor, Xolani Mbanjwa, live to us from Cape Town this morning. And among the many questions that people might have ahead of the mini-budget being delivered today, Xolani, is around what on earth the minister is going to do with Eskom.
Good morning once again, Ayanda. You're absolutely right. That's one of the biggest questions that people are asking. What is a government going to do when it comes to calls to actually take 200 billion rands from the balance sheet of Eskom into the balance sheet of the state? And there are many people who are arriving here, economists, people from social groups, and others who are going into the National Treasury lockup until 2 p.m. where they are given all of the information and all the answers to those questions. Although it is a lockup and they can't reveal the information until 2 p.m., they go there, they stay for hours dissecting and analyzing that information. And one of those people is Mr. Hugo Pinar, who is the chief economist at the Bureau for Economic Research. Hugo, thank you very much for joining us this morning. A big question on how the government will navigate taking the 200 billion rand that is a government debt, half of the government, that is Eskom debt, into a government's balance sheet. There are implications for that. What do you expect to happen here today?
Well, we've heard from the presidency and also from the Minister of Finance that this is likely to happen. We're not sure how much they will take over, but I think we will see some announcement today. It may not happen immediately because there are legal issues, etc., that needs to be discussed. But I think we're expecting that, investors are expecting it, and I think it will actually be welcomed if government does take over a large part of that debt, because of course it frees up Eskom's balance sheet to do more investment, to do their maintenance and the rest of it.
And of course, it's quite an important issue too, the issue of the basic income grant. It's many people saying that it's merely just under 50 billion rand, the cost to the fiscus. Some of them are saying it should be made permanent. Some of them are saying it should not be made permanent. But this is support for 12 million South Africans who don't have jobs and a social safety net. This is quite important.
It is, and we know that this social relief of the stress grant, so this is the 350 rand per month special grant, that runs till March next year. Beyond that, it has not been budgeted for up till now. So the question is whether we will have an announcement today of a further extension of that grant. I'm not convinced they could wait till the February budget for that, because, as I say, it runs till March, so there is still a bit of time. And I think what needs to be debated is how do we fund that? Because as you suggested, it comes at a cost of 45 to 50 billion rand. It has not been budgeted for beyond March next year. So I think what is now being debated is, are we going to extend it? But what taxes would be required? Tax increases perhaps required to fund that. So it's lots of discussions needs to go into that decision.
Another big one is the issue of the wage bill. It's been growing, and we know right now there are issues around the collapse of the negotiations. What do you expect?
So I think what we've seen in the last week or so is that both the Minister of Finance and the Minister of Public Administration is pretty clear about a 3% wage increase. So I suspect that is what is going to be penciled into the mini-budget today. It may not end up that way, of course. It may end up being higher. But I think for now, that is the best information we have, and that is probably what we will see in the statement today.
Hugo Pinar, thank you very much. He is the chief economist at the Bureau for Economic Research. He's going into lockup with a number of people to actually see what Enoch Godongwana, the finance minister, has up his sleeve when it comes to answers to those many, many questions. Back to you, Ayanda.
Xolani Mbanjwa, thanks very much indeed. Xolani is our business editor, live to us there from Cape Town.